All right, we're back on another Sunday, and I happen to be in downtown Savannah, but the show must go on. What's going on in Atlanta? I'm,
Oh man, nothing's going
I'll be
on in
honest with you.
Atlanta. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Let's start there.
Well, I'm not down here for that. I am not down here for Cinco de Mayo. What really happened was the New Georgia Project folks are down here,
The audio,
and so I had a meeting with them, and I just
the
kind of,
audio went out for a second.
huh? Oh, no, I was saying I am downtown for a meeting with some
I'll
folks,
say
and
that
so
again.
I said I'm downtown in a meeting with some people, so I just kind of just stayed down here to hang out. But it's not that kind of celebration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So
if I'm
let's get
loud,
into it. Let's jump right into it.
that's why. If it gets loud. But how's it going up there? We're in our first
Oh
10 minutes. So what's on the docket for our first 10 minutes of the run through?
man, honestly, I went to a Fonnie Willis fundraiser. Uh, did not give her any money, but I did go. I must say I enjoyed the talking points that she gave. I must say she is a very approachable person. Um, I mean, I didn't say anything about her court appearance, but that was not really the focus of it. But she was a likable person. She reminds me of somebody I used to hang out with at Beach High School. So, and
That's
I say that
funny.
with uh, that I mean, that hopefully no one takes it. If you went to Beach High School, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but
Well, it's not
she
Windsor
came off
Forest,
as a
and
very
so
down to earth person. At Grey Goose, because she went to the bar and she did get her Grey Goose.
well, it's not
What's
Windsor
that?
Forest. I said it's not Windsor Forest, so we excuse all of y'all on that. But is my audio? Can you hear me? Or
I mean, no one really cares about Windsor Forest. So
why are y'all so bad with that? I mean,
it's going out for some reason.
well, that's okay. We'll make it through. What's on that? So you went to
Come
Fonnie
on, you already know
Willis's.
you're talking
What's
to a
that?
bulldog. We're not even gonna do that.
Wow. So I'm gonna
I
let
said,
you do
you're
most of the
talking to a
talk.
bulldog, so we ain't gonna do that.
I'm gonna let you do most of the talking tonight, which will be a
All
great
right.
thing. We
So
won't be
let's
gone.
start on this protest that's been going across the nation.
Well, what are your thoughts right now, and not necessarily with Trump, but with let's look at it this way. What are your thoughts about all of these string of ridiculous, I guess, litigation? I mean, all in all, I don't think anything will stick to the wall. But what are your thoughts? Did that come through, or oh,
I mean, honestly, I think it's just a waste of time to be real with you. I don't think the only thing that's occurring right now is just slowing down him going out there and campaigning. But other than that, all these charges are basically bogus charges in my honest opinion. I think, as I've always said, if you want to beat Donald Trump, I think the best way to beat him is at the ballot box. Our start court case that's going on in New York happens, the more we start to realize and really ask ourselves, what is the actual crime? There's no crime for anybody to sign an NDA. No one is forcing people to sign an NDA. And we are starting to even learn more about what the National Enquirer do with a lot of high profile people, not just Donald Trump. Because some of the things that this guy or the president of the National Enquirer, he was doing for Trump before Trump even ran for president. So, and if Michael Cohen is the best witness that the other side have, I mean, you can take that for what it is. Again, if you want to beat Donald Trump, beat him on policies, beat him at the ballot box. But
yeah.
trying to take him to court every day to try to slow him down, that's not going to help. And the more Joe Biden talks, the more people realize they have buyer remorse.
Well, and the thing that gets me with Biden is I don't understand the apathy around addressing the Israeli Palestinian conflict. He refuses to do it, and a number of young voters are not happy. And if we know anything about history, when young voters are not happy, they act on that, and they act on that at the ballot box. So I'm missing this whole thing about, and I am an advocate of women's reproductive rights. But how is it that a whole democratic strategy misses the point of you're going to lose this election if you don't address this war?
For you talking about the Israel-Gaza war?
Right, right.
I mean, in my opinion, the chickens have come home to roost. I mean, this is what the Biden is banking on a lot of people's frustration and anger, whether it might be with uh, university administrators or people's frustration with the police itself. I mean, it's kind of like 2020 repeating itself all over again. And this is what the Biden campaign, they probably didn't want this actually. In 2020, I think it worked in their favor. But now, like I said, the chickens have come home to roost. Young people probably will not go out and vote. He hasn't really picked a side on it. And really, he's trying to play both sides of the fence here. And young people don't want that.
Well, and they're definitely demonstrating that with their
Or at
actions.
least his supporters, I should say. They don't want that.
Well, and I mean, this. I think either one
They
of two
are.
things will
And you
happen.
know, we should even take politics out of this.
They're either going to vote in big numbers, or they just.
Well, I mean, I think Biden should take politics out of it, really. And at this point, you have, I mean, even what happened on UCLA campus, like we do need a leader from the top to really speak and calm down both sides. I mean, what happened at UCLA was ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, we really need somebody from the White House to talk to everybody on both sides. You know, you have a right to protest, you have a right to free speech. However, it should not resort to violence. It should not resort to burglary. It should not resort to trespassing. I mean, there's ways how to do this peacefully, and everybody can express their thought, whatever which side you're on. And I think that's the best answer that Joe Biden can give. But his supporters still won't be happy because they don't want America to support Israel in any capacity when it comes to this war. So he's going to have to pick his poison, honestly.
My thing is, and I talked to somebody about this today. It's almost like the Civil War, right? You know, both sides have a issue. Both sides have a contribution to the conflict. But what I don't understand with certain people and especially America is why pick sides. I understand the loyalty to Israel, but I also understand that the Palestinian population and community has a voice too. And for so long, our country has ignored that Palestinian voice. And we don't necessarily know what's right or wrong. We know what the media tells us. But the one thing I do know is we've got to be fair in this. And so I want to applaud those students who are willing to stand up and stand out about their communities, even if they're not members of those communities, to be allies. You know, it's a big thing. And so one thing I will say, Speaker Johnson, I mean, I don't know what kind of whatever he was had going on that day, but for him to come out in New York and just be totally an idiot about the situation and deny the fact that the Palestinian folks have a voice, I just thought that was bad.
You know, Speaker Johnson has to say anything at this point just to get cool points with the Republican Party, so that we can take that for what it is.
Yeah. What?
I mean, I'm all for people going out there protesting. I'm all for people, to exercise their, freedom of speech. I just don't think it should resort to any violence. It should not be any hate speech. That's for sure. And I do think while you are able to protest and say what you want to say, the blocking of some students on campuses, I think the pro-Palestinian people should not be doing that. There are other ways to try to get your message across, but there are some people who aren't even trying to get in this debacle at all. They just want to go to school to learn. So the fact that they are trying to create a parameter to stop people from going on campus, I think we need to have that conversation. some of the things that's being said on social media, that's also a little bit alarming. You have some people holding up signs saying death to America. I'm kind of confused by that. You have some people saying, I hate white people. I'm confused. Like, what is the messaging here? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, is the message hate message, or is the message we're trying to stop,
Well,
what's
well,
going on in Israel? And from my standpoint, I don't support America trying to get itself involved in all these wars across. But that's just me. Call me an isolationist, but I am. I think we should let Israel do whatever Israel want to do. We can decide of how our taxpayers should be going, but I don't support like our money just going to all these wasteless wars.
I totally agree. I think if we have not learned, and I was talking, over dinner with some folks about the whole idea of the Dayton Accord, and if we remember the Dayton Accord and how that totally created havoc for Bosnia and Herzegovina, I had a great opportunity to sit with those folks, many years ago, and America is a very arrogant space, and we tend to poke our nose in other people's country. But what kills me is for America to be so smart, why haven't we solved the issues of poverty yet? Why haven't we remedied and come to grips with how slavery has impacted certain communities? We know so much, but we know shit about, excuse my language, but I'm being honest, about our own issues. So we haven't swept around our own door. But as we segue into our topic tonight, advocacy, I want to start with this idea of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now we know Marjorie's an idiot. We all know
What,
that.
before
We
we
get
go to
it. She's
Marjorie Taylor
Georgia's biggest
Greene,
failure.
before we get to Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'd rather even not talk about her, to be honest with you. I do want to talk
We've
about
got to
something
talk
that
about it. That's y'all
political
star
came.
player. That's y'all star player
No,
right now.
it's not. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is definitely not. It is not. Listen, we're not happy. No one is happy with her. Okay, we not talk about Green. Okay, I rather talk about AOC, to be honest with you, and I don't even agree with AOC.
AOC
But
is not a
anyways,
problem.
but there
AOC
was a
is just
story
an
that came
advocate.
out. There was a story that came out from Politico. Oh, well, hold on. There's a story that came out from Politico about this pro-Palestinian movement and some of the funding that's behind it, which I'm a little bit confused why George Soros and the Rockefeller is supporting this.
That's private money. I'm sorry, that's private money. We cannot. It's almost like the Koch brothers. The Koch brothers were funding Nikki Haley, then they bailed out. I'm just saying.
Touche.
I don't have an issue with where
Touche.
private money goes. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's private money.
I'm always confused. I just get confused why every time there is violence and things are being destroyed, Soros and the Rockefeller, their money is always behind it. Especially when you're burning down communities, you're tearing up
Well,
campuses. Like, why the
well, and
money is
I will
always
say
behind
this.
stuff like that.
I will say this, and this is going to be, this is the ultimate secret, the elephant in the room. A lot of people don't realize this, but all these folks are friends, right? Like, I would not be surprised if Bill and Hillary and Trump had dinner tonight. I just wouldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you all are rivals, but it's like y'all are in a community, I'm just saying.
Well, you already know that Bill and Hillary would not sit down with Trump because number one, they have to come out and endorse Trump and say something positive about Trump first
Not
before Trump even sit
necessarily.
down and have dinner with them. You have to
Not
feed his
necessarily.
ego, and I say that as a Trump supporter, by the way.
It's like, okay, it's this whole theory similar to the Illuminati. Well, I don't believe in that. There is credence to saying
We're
people,
going there.
birds of a feather tend to flock together. That's all I'm saying on that one. I don't necessarily have to endorse you because I am tied to this particular ideology based on just affiliation. But yeah, but
See, I don't. So I partially agree with you in that class of people who try to keep that same class of people in the 1% or in the know of
yeah.
everything. Unfortunately, I think Donald Trump is. They don't want Donald Trump in there because he's that person who would come to the room and kind of fold his arms and say, "I would tell on everybody. Like I would tell all y'all business." And they don't want that type of person. They like to keep everything secret. And you know how Trump is. You piss me off, I'm going to go on social media and I'm going to put everything out. But let's go ahead and talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let's get past this headache real fast.
She's great. She's a great poster child. She's an advocate.
She's
She's
not.
an advocate for
She's
foolishness.
not. For who? She's
She's
an
an
advocate for
advocate for
who exactly?
foolishness. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. She's definitely an advocate for foolishness. I don't understand why she's trying to out the speaker when we only have a very slim majority. And right now, she's really giving the Democrats a lot of talking points come November. I mean, they are already saying that the Republican Party cannot govern. And instead of the Republican Party focusing on governing, we're too busy having this internal war. And I think it's stupid that just one person can put a motion up to have the speaker vacate. Like that's stupid. I mean, Marge, you really don't have to vote. You don't have to show up, or you can just, I mean, do what some of y'all do. Y'all don't even read the bills. I mean, you ain't got to be there. But it's stupid for her to keep doing this, or any
Yeah.
Republican for that matter, to try to put Mike Johnson out of office. I think right now he's the best person for the job. I think the Republican Party should stick behind him, and really we should be focusing on, from my point of view, winning the election. That's the White House, that's the Senate, and that's the House, and all the way down the ballot as well. So that's judicial, well, some of them, I should say, when we talk about local elections, some conservatives, not all. None, I'm not talking about the radical ones, but
Right. Right.
overall, the Republican Party should be focusing on winning elections, not trying to tear each other down right now. I mean, that's basically what we're doing right now.
No,
And
I
I
totally agree.
don't know what. I don't know what's the winning game, or what's the end game for her by doing this. You're not going to get what you
Well,
want.
well, this is her friend Beavis and Butthead from Florida. I mean, my thing
Matt
is
Gates.
they don't have common sense, and the thing is, the one thing I can appreciate with Eric Johnson, Speaker Johnson, is he understands to navigate the spaces he is in, that he's got to make concessions. And Marjorie is just a Karen on steroids. She's just an idiot who has never had to work for anything, has all this privilege, and just is just closed minded to anything other than herself. And so the people in her district, I blame them for being just straight, just not thinking before they put her in office.
So to govern, unfortunately, you have to compromise. You have to you have to find, you have to find something in the middle. You might not get everything you want, but you have to compromise on something. And I think, again, Mike Johnson is the best person to do that. I do have my issue with the money that went to Ukraine, but hey, I would not be trying to out him because of that. I think there are other ways that you can work with Mike Johnson, on other issues. And again, it's
Yeah.
kind of like somebody just putting their, folding their arms in the sandbox, pouting, saying like, okay, well, I'm not getting my way, so I want you out the job.
Right, right, which is so just ridiculous. But
I
as we
mean,
talk, we're not gonna stay on the whole time. I'm gonna close us out with our commercial, but we'll go to 25 minutes in that because um, but advocacy, I think she's advocating in the wrong way. And one of the reasons we want to talk about advocacy tonight, there's a number of nonprofits, and I won't share the one I'm with tonight because I haven't been authorized to share that information. But as we look at nonprofits, as we look at individuals, in your thought process, how do individuals who are voters, right, regardless of whatever party they are, Libertarian, Republican, Democrat, Independent, in what way could they advocate, whether it be locally, statewide, or federally, at federal level?
excuse me. I think people just have to go out there and get involved. Find something that you are passionate about, whether it's abortion, whether it might be gun rights, whether it might be term limits. Find something that you are passionate about. You can actually call your state house representative, your state house, excuse me, your state senator. You can get them on the phone. You can send them emails. You can actually go to their office. Let them know what's concerning you, and start to show up all the time. Start your own organization. Ask for funding. You have to really get involved, and that's the only way how you can change the conversation. I they call me in the Republican Party a libertarian conservative. So I do advocate for a lot of social issues that I think are dear to me, and I do make sure I go to a lot of meetings, especially when it comes to the board, because I like to voice my opinion, and that's the best thing you can do. Always try to be in every room so you can be a part of the conversation, because if you're not part of the conversation, you will be left, and the people that you care about won't be a part of that conversation too. So anytime that I bring something up to any conversation, I'm always talking about Black people issues. It might come from a conservative standpoint, but I'm still always have Black people at the forefront of my mind. I do bring up teachers because my mother was a teacher. So I know teachers are underpaid, but I also keep that in mind as well. So, find something that you're passionate about, stay at it. You might have some defeats some days, but just keep pushing, keep going.
And I would add to that, I think all of what you offered was really good and makes sense. But as for people who are starting at a local level, your neighborhood associations, civic groups like the Sierra Club, which are a little broader, your church groups. But my thing to people is be an advocate, whether it be you supporting an organization, whether it be like you mentioned George Soros, who's a philanthropist, but get involved in some way, because a lot of people are like, well, my vote doesn't count, but your advocacy and your understanding of the issues and being attached to, like you said, having a passion for something is important, because if you're not, then your voice isn't heard and you become disenfranchised. And we've got to change that narrative, because, like you said, there are a number of different political affiliations, and if you can't identify one of those, go independent and just share your own ideas. But I'm gonna give you the last word tonight, and then we're gonna do commercials, and we're gonna sign out.
One thing I will say, it bothers me when people say their vote doesn't matter. Your vote do matter, actually, and the more people that actually get out there and vote, you can make a difference. If you stay home, then you are really part of the problem.
Did you? Well, all
Did I
right,
lose you,
all right.
brother?
Well, we're gonna. No,
Oh,
you're good. Go ahead. I'm listening.
oh, no, go ahead.
I mean, I want to make sure you finish, because when you're done, I'm gonna sign out.
Oh, no. I have nothing else to add.
All right. Well, we're gonna cut it short this week, just because I am down here meeting with a group, and I think we covered some good land. But we'll be back next Sunday, same time, same place.
Transformative. That's what Sonya Jackson is. Creative. That's what Sonya Jackson is. Compassionate. That's what Sonya Jackson is. Leadership. That's what Sonya Jackson demonstrates. Dedicated. That's what Sonya Jackson is. Chatham County, there's never been a tax commissioner like Sonya Jackson. She has made the office more accessible, more consistent, more convenient, and more service-friendly. Let's keep Sonya Jackson while she takes the tax commissioner's office to new heights. On May 21st, cast your vote for a great public servant. Vote Sonya Jackson for tax commissioner.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
this.